This testimony will move you.
I actually grew up a Christian, but I didn't grow up in a church that was really filled with the Spirit necessarily. It was a sweet church. It wasn't legalistic, but it wasn't that I didn't know a lot of people that said they were hearing from God. We weren't talking about miracles and fighting for healing on things. It was just a sweet church. I was a Christian all the way up until college, and a professor made me question everything. It was a difficult time in my life. There were some other things happening. It was someone that I really respected. And so that was the first time that I really questioned God. I became a nurse, and there's a really amazing thing that happened in the ICU that really brought me back to Jesus. I was working in the cardiovascular intensive care unit, taking care of a patient at night. The patient next to mine had to cover for a lunch break. And during the lunch break, he coded. And as he arrested, I was standing in the hallway. I saw him. I saw the heart rate go into a very critical arrhythmia called vidIQ. I saw his eyes roll back. I knew it was real, which often the alarms are fake, but I went into the room with a crash cart as his eyes were rolling back. We did a full code. I called for help as I was going back, and I said, guys, you need to come in here and help me. A whole sequence of events happened when he was completely pulseless, with no blood pressure, no breathing. He was blue. I felt with my hands there was no pulse whatsoever. We did several rounds of CPR on this gentleman. So sad. He had been such a great patient the whole night. But anyway, he finally comes back, and we were so excited when he responded, and everyone goes out of the room. I go check on my patient. I just had a 1-to-1 fresh post-op patient, and they were doing fine. So I came back in, and I'm in the room by myself, and I'm cleaning up the floor because lots of things pop off, vials and different things. And the nurse is outside the room charting what was happening, what had happened during the code. And as I'm on the floor, the patient looks down at me and he says, hey, I just want to say thank you. And I looked up at him and I said, you're welcome. That's kind of what they pay me for, and I'm glad you're okay. And he said, no, I don't think you understand. He said, I saw you. Oh, he saw me when I was coming in with a crash cart. And he said, no, I saw everything. He said, I was floating in the room. And he points to the bottom of his bed, to the ceiling. And he said, I was right there on the ceiling, and I could see everything that was happening. And he proceeds to tell me every single thing that happened when he was completely pulseless, clinically dead, even knew what had happened outside the room. And that's the part, Pastor David, that I couldn't get past. Because I thought, what if there's some level of activity,
right,
with his hearing is last to go, right? But he knew what had happened on the outside of the room. And when I went to confirm it, everything that he told me was true. And in that moment, I got very emotional, because obviously this is a time I was really questioning things. I was in my head and I was thinking, oh my goodness, my professor was wrong. We are spirits. And then it was a sequence of thoughts like, we go somewhere when we die, heaven and hell. And then it was like, oh my goodness, it came to me. I have denied Jesus for the last several years. Wow.